You may genuinely enjoy being around someone. You can laugh with them, listen to them, and care about what they are saying, and still notice something strange when they finally leave. The door closes, the room becomes quiet, and your entire body seems to soften. Your shoulders drop, your breathing becomes deeper, your thoughts become clearer. For the first time in hours, you no longer feel like part of you has to remain available. Then the guilt appears, because if you cared about them, why does their absence feel like relief? Maybe being alone feels safe not simply because no one is there. Maybe it feels safe because for a moment, no one can require anything from you. That relief can be difficult to admit, especially when it happens around people you love. You may miss someone when they are gone, then quietly wait for space when they are near. You may want connection, but begin feeling restless after too much closeness. You may enjoy a conversation and still feel exhausted by the fact that another person is present. And this can make you question yourself. Am I cold? Am I selfish? Do I care less than I think I do? But feeling relieved when someone leaves does not always mean you wanted that person gone. Sometimes you only wanted the pressure inside you to stop. You wanted to stop watching yourself, stop wondering how you were being perceived, stop preparing for what the other person might need next. The conflict may not be between love and indifference. It may be between connection and protection. When you are alone, no one is waiting for a response. No one is studying your face. No one is wondering why you became quiet. No one can misread your mood or feel disappointed by your distance. No one can suddenly ask for an explanation you are not ready to give. This does not mean the people around you are always demanding. Sometimes they are not asking for anything at all, but their presence keeps the possibility open. The possibility that you may need to respond, adjust, reassure, explain, participate. And when you are already emotionally tired, even possibility can feel like pressure. Solitude closes that possibility for a while. Nothing needs to happen. No emotional moment needs to be prepared for. You're allowed to exist without wondering what someone may need from you next. You can be sitting quietly beside someone and still feel internally busy. You notice small changes in their voice. You wonder whether their silence means something. You replay what you just said. You decide whether it is safe to mention what you are really feeling. You sense the atmosphere changing before anything has been spoken. From the outside, you may look calm, but inside, part of you is still working, monitoring, anticipating, adjusting. You may be physically resting while remaining emotionally on duty. This is why closeness can become exhausting, even when nothing visibly goes wrong. The exhaustion is not always caused by conflict. Sometimes it comes from continually preparing for conflict that never happens. Perhaps you learned slowly that being close to people required attention. Maybe you became good at noticing what others needed, good at keeping the atmosphere calm, good at avoiding subjects that could create tension, good at making yourself easy to be around. You may have learned to delay your own needs until the moment felt safer, to say you were fine before checking whether you actually were, to remain available because withdrawing might upset someone. None of this had to be a conscious decision. Closeness may simply have become something you learned to manage. And when connection requires constant management, being alone begins to feel like freedom. Not because you dislike people, but because solitude may be the only place where you are not editing yourself in real time. This is what makes the experience so confusing. You still want to be understood. You still want companionship. You still want the feeling of being known by someone. But you do not want to lose your internal space in order to receive it. You do not want every silence to become a question, every boundary to become rejection, every change in your mood to require an explanation. You want closeness. You just do not want to disappear inside it. And perhaps that is what your need for solitude has been trying to protect. Not your distance from others, your connection to yourself. Being alone is predictable. You know what the room will ask of you. Nothing. You can change your mind without explaining it. You can feel tired without trying to appear present. You can sit in silence without wondering what that silence means to someone else. You are not waiting for the next emotional demand. There is no mood to interpret, no disappointment to anticipate, no invisible line you may accidentally cross. Your body may not relax because it prefers isolation. It may relax because the room no longer changes with someone else's mood, needs, or reactions. For a while, everything becomes still enough for you to stop preparing. You may have told yourself that you avoid people, that you are distant, difficult to reach, too independent. But maybe that description is incomplete. You may not be avoiding connection itself. You may be avoiding the vigilance that connection has come to require. Being alone keeps you from entering that state. It protects the space where you can hear your own thoughts, notice your own needs, and remain connected to yourself. Once you understand this, your need for distance begins to look less like rejection. It begins to look like protection. There may be a more useful question than, why do I always want to be alone? The question may be, what stops being required of me when I am finally alone? Do you stop trying to seem okay? Do you stop making yourself available? Do you stop measuring your words? Do you stop protecting other people from your exhaustion? Do you stop feeling responsible for the emotional temperature of the room? Your relief may be showing you exactly where closeness has become costly. Not because connection is wrong, but because somewhere inside connection, you may have stopped believing that you were allowed to rest. Perhaps the deepest pain is not that you prefer being alone. Perhaps it is that you have rarely experienced closeness without effort. Closeness where you can remain quiet without being interpreted. Where you can need space without causing alarm. Where saying no does not create punishment. Where tiredness does not have to be hidden. Where you do not have to offer a more acceptable version of yourself to keep the connection stable. Maybe you do not need less connection. Maybe you need connection that does not feel like constant exposure. Connection that leaves enough room for you to remain a person, not a role. The fact that solitude feels safe does not mean you were meant to live without people. It may simply mean that being alone is where you most clearly experience emotional permission. Permission to be quiet. Permission to be unavailable. Permission to have needs without immediately explaining them. Permission to stop watching the room. The goal may not be to force yourself to need less space. It may be to notice what your space gives you that closeness has not. Because connection and safety do not have to remain opposites. There may be relationships where silence is allowed, where boundaries do not threaten the connection, where being loved does not require you to remain emotionally alert every moment. The safest kind of closeness may not be the kind that keeps someone beside you all the time. It may be the kind that allows you to remain yourself while they are there. If being alone is the only place where you can fully exhale, that relief may be telling you something important. Not that you do not need people, but that closeness should not require you to disappear. If this helped you understand something you have struggled to put into words, you can stay with quiet clarity for more reflections like this.